Is it okay? Did you tell me this or did I imagine this that you when I was asking you about the frequencies last time, you said it is not Reiki vibration.
It is not
It's
Reiki.
different.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. My understanding is that Reiki is just like life force, chi, like chi vibration. How would you describe these frequencies?
Let's say that this is life force.
Okay.
So we have Reiki right here. We have Qigong right here. We have Jinshin right here, like 111 healing, quantum
There's some.
touch.
Mhm.
Each modality kind of accesses a certain spectrum of
Mhm.
energy. For some reason, probably because we're going through this planetary shift in consciousness and moving into a different density, it's kind of a big deal.
Mhm.
We Reiki is inside the spectrum,
Mhm.
but when we let go of the traditions and the limitations, we're able to
Okay.
just bring it all through.
That's interesting. Okay. That makes sense. Because it felt like Reiki, but it felt like Reiki times like 100.
Yeah, it's a hot day. I'm hanging in the sunshine. You should hit me with the splash.
Hello, Jasmine. It's
Yeah.
good to see you again. How are
Yeah,
you?
good, just really good. Yeah,
Awesome.
really good. Yeah. Um, I like, yeah, there's just been so many changes since my session with you. I'm like, I think I should do another one. Just keep
See
going
what
with it.
happens. Let's keep this party rolling. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
How good can it get?
Um,
Let's see.
yeah, since the session, I kind of after the session, I just kind of forgot about it, which I feel is probably a good thing to do because you don't want to
Obsess.
yeah. And I think it was maybe about a week later. Um, I've had like I didn't even like I had no expectation of this as an outcome because I've had food allergies for like 15, 20 years of my life. Like I don't, I don't eat dairy, sugar, wheat, alcohol, caffeine, like grains, you name it. Like I'm just
Wow.
so sensitive. And it just one day I just was like, oh, I'm gonna try this. And I did and I was fine. And I was like, what? Like, no, you know, burning lips or swelling of my face. Like it was just, and then so I've been testing things since then. And for the most part, I've been okay. And I was just like, wow, like I have done everything. I've had so many like acupuncture, like all kinds of different treatments for like food allergies, and nothing has worked. So I still am just surprised that that was an outcome. Um,
Awesome.
yeah. So that was a very, very cool and just a lot more clarity. I had gone through like several months of I call it the void, being in the void. And just I had a lot more clarity, I think, about what that was and the purpose of it. And just, I think this part of like I guess an unhealthy aspect of my ego structure was like I'm this helper, I'm this healer, like my family, everyone like depends on me, everyone relies on me. And like last year, that part of me had to die. Like I just physically could not be that person for people. And it was really hard. It felt like I was dying. And so now that part, it's like I don't have to be that person. I can if I want to, if it spontaneously feels right, I'll still do it. I still do it. My parents are older. I still do a ton of stuff for them, and that feels right. But I don't have to be that person. And so that freed up so much of my life. I was like, I don't even know what to do with myself now. I was just like being pulled in all these directions, helping people, and now it was almost like being in this void. Like what do I do? Like what do I do with all this time? So but now I understand that the void served that purpose of kind of like reconnecting to myself and what my own interests are and my own passions are. And you kind of need to go through, I think, that once when you've been putting so much of your energy into other people's lives and kind of losing bits of yourself in the process. So that was really that was, yeah, just I had a lot of insights surrounding that. And I think some healing with me and my youngest son. So yeah. So I'm like, let's do it again. Let's keep
Oh,
going.
that's awesome.
And I
That's
do feel like, like you said, we're going through these massive shifts. Like some days, like yesterday was, I think, one of the, for me, it just felt like a powerful day on the planet. There was, I brought my parents to Michigan to go see my dad's siblings because, they're all getting up there. And, the amount of stuff I was feeling internally being around these people, it just felt like there was so much shifting happening. And, um, you know, they're older. I don't think they're aware of any of this stuff, but it's still happening.
doesn't
It's still
matter.
happening to them. It's still going on. Um, yeah. And I don't know, like, do you think we have our 3D bodies and we probably have, do we have like a 5D body and our 3D body is trying to like, I don't know. Are we trying
Connect.
to align the bodies, do you think? Is that why it feels so like weird some days? Like some days it feels like I'm trying to align with something I can't really explain, and maybe we can never fully understand this process because it's so complicated and it's happening in realms that we can't visually see. Maybe one day we'll understand it in a more technical sense, but for now it's just all like postulations, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, we're definitely, there is absolutely a fifth dimensional, sixth dimensional, like there are layers to the true us, our oversoul. And I mean, we're all different too. I mean, I'm sure there's people here from the 12th dimension, that
Mm.
their oversoul is in that dimension. And we're all here in the 3D, dude, trying to
Mhm.
make this shift to the 4D. But yeah, it is interesting how each day is completely different. But I think as we start to, you were like, what are we doing? I feel like we're trying to match the vibration of our oversoul. Like I can only really talk about myself. And it's like there's just this ease. And it seems like the universe is constantly giving me these confirmations that everything's perfect. You're right on time. Just
Mm.
keep following your excitement. Keep doing what you do. And things just make sense. It's really hard to describe. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
how can you look out into a world where most people see it spiraling out of control, and you're like, "Ah, this is awesome." You know what I mean? Like, or you can be around people who are totally caught up in the fear, and they're just like panicked, and you're like, "Ah, it's so beautiful." You know what I mean? Like that we're just like it's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird. It
Well, you
sounds
must have that trust. Like if you don't have that trust in life, it's going to be scary, and so many people don't, right? So you obviously have that trust that like this is all happening for us. Like this is
yeah.
happening for our evolution, and so sometimes in that process, things have to die, things have to decay, they have to fall apart.
Totally.
That's
It's part of the deal. And I don't think it's trust though. I think most of my life it was trust. But somehow there's like this knowing. And when you know it, it's just different. That's when the
Mhm.
ease comes. That's
Right.
when, yeah,
Yeah, I guess it's right.
it's
Trust is like when you're going through something hard and you're like, okay, I gotta just trust in something higher than me to like that it's all gonna work out. But you
yeah,
kind of like you surpass that to now where you can just like, ah.
yeah. And then the knowing would be when you remember that this has already happened in your life numerous times. It always works out for the best. Like no matter what bullshit you're going through.
Mm,
In retrospect,
hmm.
there's always this, at least with me. And I do think there's an element of alchemy in mastering this earth where you have to be able to see the positive
Yeah.
in everything. And when you do that, you literally feel the positive. And it's
Mm,
like we're becoming alchemists in a way. And
hmm.
so if you know that no matter what life is throwing at you, that it's going to have a positive outcome on your soul's experience or your consciousness, then there's a kind of a sense of invincibility because
Mm-hmm.
like whatever happens, you can turn it into and what you believe is what you experience. So it's not
Mm-hmm.
like you're faking it. You know what I mean? It's not like you're, oh no, 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 everything's good, everything's good. No, it's like, no, everything
Yeah.
is good. Like it's good. I know you might not see it and you might not see it, but you see it and you see it, you know, so it's like um
Mm-hmm.
so I don't know if that made any sense at all, but
Absolutely.
okay.
Yeah, well, just like my parents, right? They will sit every day and watch the news and like Trump and just
Yeah.
there's every day it's a different fear and I'm like I wish I could just poof,
Yeah,
like
but that's their path. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
so what I'm saying is like, okay, so you see them sitting there like being hypnotized by Fox News or like whatever they're watching. And so you're watching, but you know they are this magnificent eternal being of consciousness that chose to come and 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 experience this separate like this is all temporary, you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
but there is a beauty in watching that. And I know
Mm,
we want them to say, ah, no, I would rather go out in nature and spend my last years like, you know, fucking learning how to play violin or like, like something, something totally
yeah,
new. But that's just, you have
yeah,
to see the perfection in I mean, there is a perfection in everything, and sometimes it's hard to see it, like, you know,
yeah.
but or
So
passing
so who treats you? Like, do you also have someone who does the same work that you get, or are you feeling like you're getting a healing as you're
every session that I offer or that I facilitate or give, like whatever, um, I get like the residual.
hmm
So I don't have anybody do anything on me because it's
you're receiving it all the time anyway.
yeah, and plus, I
Yeah.
mean, I feel good and like, anything that I
Mhm.
am kind of going through is just normal earth shit anyway. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I don't know, the whole thing's kind of become a game to me, like as far
Uh-huh.
as my life and the challenges that come in. And I don't know. I just, I don't really, I mean, I don't want to say I don't need any healing, but
No, no, no.
I feel
We're
okay.
receiving healing all the time. Like every
Totally.
day we're probably receiving upgrades and,
Totally.
working through things. So yeah,
Absolutely.
it's
Yeah.
ongoing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think it's definitely has something to do with letting go of the fear. How do you actually heal somebody or attune them to this s- frequency from source if you're constantly like protecting yourself and like you know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
there isn't that absolutely has something to do with it. I mean, I feel like I could go work on Adolf Hitler and
Mm.
there's no need for protection. I don't need to
Yeah,
ground.
that's what
I'm
I
already
wanted to
grounded.
ask you. I was going to ask you if you do like the, if things stick to you, if you do energy work to ground yourself, or if this is kind of just like beyond all that, because, the idea that you even need to do that
Yeah.
kind of puts you in a fear mode
Yeah,
where like
totally.
you need to protect this energy when you're already that energy, like it's already,
Yeah.
you know. Not that I'm saying we shouldn't have boundaries. Like there is something to be said for having like, saying no when you need to say no and all of
Of
that.
course. Yeah. Like obviously if you feel like there's some kind of relationship or situation where that is not healthy, that does not resonate, you know what I mean? Like you can
Mm,
feel something's not right. Then of course, stop. No more. You got to
right.
stop that. I mean, I'm offering healing. That's what I never understood is like, so say this person is consumed with darkness. Okay. I'm there to bring light.
Hmm.
How is the darkness going to, like, it doesn't make any sense to me why the light would need protection for the dark
Right.
sticking to it. Like, even saying that out loud,
Yeah.
it sounds juvenile, right? Like, don't let the darkness stick to the light. I mean, that doesn't even make any
Yeah.
sense at all. So,
Yeah, that's so I like that you said that because really the last several months of my life have just been about like accepting the darkness within myself, integrating the dark because it's so easy, if you're on the spiritual path to over identify with like being the healer, being the, love and light. Even like the whole thing, I saw your video about Aubrey Marcus. Um, obviously he's somebody that a lot of people look up to. He's like the spiritual leader.
I did not know
And
that.
oh, you didn't know anything about?
No.
Oh, okay. I've been watching him off and on for years. Like he has a lot of good, interesting content. I don't resonate with everything he says. Um, but I think he's probably done more good than bad as far as, like bringing awareness on
Yeah.
certain things. But of course, he's got a shadow too. We all do. Of course, he's got, like things like he's human,
Of
right?
course. Of
And,
course. He even says it.
I think, yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
he's pretty honest.
yeah.
I'll give him that. Like he's open and
Yeah.
honest,
And
right?
I agree with almost everything I hear him say. It's just
Mhm,
I can't stand to listen to him. Even though I'm agreeing with him, I'm like, okay, fast forward.
mhm.
Um, so there's something untangible that doesn't feel right with me, even though I agree
Yeah.
with him. I don't agree with him on this, whatever that was. What was it like divine? Like, I don't even know.
Oh yeah,
Like,
mono
whatever the
something
hell
monogamous.
him and his sick mentor were like trying to convince people that they were on some
Mhm.
next level. Anyway, that's cool. That I'm glad that they're being them, but it's like, dude, come on,
Yeah.
like, you know, like, I don't know. It seemed like they were both so full of themselves that I just couldn't even like digest it. Like, oh,
Yeah.
dude, like,
Yeah, I think that like what made people like people too also though, they get so angry because they put him on a pedestal where like you're this leader, you shouldn't be you shouldn't have an ego or you shouldn't have these um parts of yourself that are um like you shouldn't have
yeah,
a dark side almost. And
yeah.
of course he
Well, that's
does. Of course he
ridiculous.
of course he has unintegrated parts of himself just
Of
like everybody
course.
else,
Yeah, of
right?
course.
And
And
like
I don't understand this whole like get rid of the ego thing.
yeah.
That's not the goal. You know what I mean? Like that's who you are. Like that's your filter for this life. The problem
Mhm.
is when you give the ego control over your life, you know,
Mhm.
because it's not capable of guiding your life. This is what guides your life. But this is just like, cool, I'm Case. I got my little personality, I got my own baggage, but and so I never understood when people were like the goal is to get rid of their ego. Like that's your personality. That's who you are. It just needs to be in the
Yeah.
back seat instead of the driver's
Right.
seat. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
That's a good
like
way to put it. Yeah.
so back to the Aubrey Marcus thing. Yeah, I'm just surprised that people put actually anybody on a pedestal. I mean, that's just asking for to be let down.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like that's so.
That's
I
it's
didn't mean to
and
go.
I think that's what's going on collectively so much right now. Like all these like movie stars and famous people that were idolized to some extent, the dark side of that, like the Diddy case, um, all these people in power, like Epstein, like there's some darkness there that,
Oh yeah,
people were just either turning a blind eye to, or, you know, I mean, I say that, but in all honesty, I never thought Diddy was this great person. I probably always in my gut thought he was kind of like, you
slimy.
know, slimy. Yeah, there's something intuitive that probably was going on there. But yeah, but for a lot of people, it's like, oh, these people that were on a pedestal, it's just a reality check that, you can't do that. You can't do that. People are human.
Well, what a
Yeah.
great
So
teacher
do you
they
ever
are.
work on Hitler?
Nope.
But I'm like, that's a good idea. Like someone's got to work on
I
him. Like
can't
he's still a
think of
soul.
many people that would need more healing than Homie. Yeah. I've heard where when his soul transitioned over, it was when the revelation of the amount of pain and suffering that he had caused, it
Mm.
it did like there was like a damage to his soul. It was almost like he needed to go
Yeah.
into isolation and like
Yeah. That's some heavy karma
that,
for sure.
yeah, who knows what is really going on. But yeah, no, that's next level assholeness. I did hear an interesting thing about the Jewish culture that fascinated me. And I had never, like, I was always curious. It was like, why is there this, like, anger towards the Jewish culture? Like, I just don't get it. You know what I mean? Like, it did.
Mm.
And then I heard this Jewish lady, and she said, I'm part of the Jewish culture, and I don't understand why there is this, like, hatred towards our culture. And Bashar said, well, when the Anunnaki came in and genetically modified us, and we were, we're a mix of like many, many races, species, I guess that would probably be better. We were a blend of different genetics. And the Jewish culture isolated themselves in their own culture, and they hold a stronger DNA lineage to the Anunnaki by staying isolated. And so, on
Mm.
a subconscious level, people can feel that they have a strong Anunnaki gene in them.
Mm.
And so they're rebelling against this slavery thing. Because,
Mm.
the Anunnaki, basically, we were turned into, in a sense, like
Slavery.
workers, you know.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh God, kind of it kind of makes a little sense. Like,
Hmm.
I,
That's
I
interesting.
yeah, I don't want to take up our time
Mm.
by talking about, things like that, but yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, I really didn't have anything very specific that I wanted to share other than
Well, you ready to do this? Okay. I'm just real quick. Are you able to feel these frequencies in your hands? You ever tried?
yeah. Yes. Yeah, I've been playing around with it quite a bit actually
Sweet.
since our last session.
Awesome.
Hmm.
Okay. I hope you have a great session. I'll let you know when I'm done.
All right, thank you.
Wow, that's loud. Um, is there any way, I don't know how you're doing on time. Is there any way I could debrief you after the group session?
Yeah, that
Okay.
works.
Okay. So you just lay there. I'm going to mute myself and I'm going to do
Yeah.
the group session. And I actually would be curious to know if the feelings are different, the sensations are different. I don't
Yeah,
think.
that there's some stuff to share with you for sure.
Okay, cool, cool. I can't wait to hear it. So yeah, you just chill and
Okay.
I'm
Uh, so are you gonna send me like another Zoom link
I'm
or
just going to leave this open.
leave it open?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. So you don't have to
Okay.
participate in the group session if you don't
No,
want to.
no, I would like to. I
Okay,
would like to
cool.
keep going.
Cool. I kind of
Okay.
kind of want to hear what happens myself. Okay. I'll
Okay.
talk to you in 15 minutes.
All right, sounds good.
Okay. Group session's over this time. You can take your time, whatever. No rush.
Yeah.
So see, I just spent 45 minutes wallowing in these frequencies. I don't think I need anybody to give me a session. Like I think I
Yeah. Marinating in it, eh?
yeah, so
Yeah.
you know I think yeah. I think I'm good. So
Yeah.
how was the personal session?
Yeah. Um, so similar to the last time, in the beginning, I could hear a lot of sounds in like solar plexus, a lot of movement. Um, my face felt like it was quivering, like lots of weird sensation in my mouth in this area, like it was moving, but I don't think it was. It just felt like it was moving. And I had a really weird sensation throughout it. Like it felt like there was like a pressure pushing on my right cheekbone. And at the same time, it felt like some kind of like rubber band was like pulling parts of me in this direction on my hip and somewhere on the side, pulling me. Um, and then what happened was maybe toward the midpoint, I just started feeling these bursts of energy like pouring in through my solar plexus. And it was like the amount of energy like coursing through me. It was like it was almost hard to take. And it was like I started feeling myself kind of trying to close, like, okay, it's too much, it's too much. I'm like closing. And then I would just start, then my mind would get really busy and I would just, it was almost like I was trying to distract myself. I was thinking about like random things I got to do later in the day to give my mind a break from it. And then it would start again. And I'm like, okay, I'm ready for it to start again. So then it would like kind of like electricity. It felt like being electrified. And then, okay, I can't take it anymore. And then I would go somewhere in my mind. And that also continued in the group session, but it felt better. Like it felt like then I could feel in the group session my hands, lots of tingling in my arms and hands, and like energy really coursing through that part of me. But it felt okay. It didn't feel like I had to close.
So that's interesting to that you could literally feel. It almost sounds like the group session was better, like or more
Either that or by the
enjoyable.
time it rolled around, I was acclimatized to the frequencies a little better, or maybe there is, the power of the group
Yeah,
to
yeah.
maybe ground it or something like that. Who knows?
Yeah, it's
But
interesting that you said that because that is what you would think. You would think, okay, I'm doing a group session, so we are meeting in this field and we're sharing. There is some type of community. Interesting enough, from the day I started the group sessions, I never felt like that was what was happening. I always felt like I was giving, say if there was 20 people involved, I always felt like it was 20 individual connections and that nothing
mm,
is mixing. Like you're not mixing with the,
really,
okay, I'm a radio antenna and each one of us has their own receiver. And if this person's receiver is jacked up, it's not going to affect the reception of this person's receiver. So it
mm,
it it, it felt like
there's no transference.
there's no like
Yeah.
this receiver and this receiver aren't talking. It's just they're just receiving from the radio station. So it's interesting. So I'm really happy that you almost had a more pleasant experience during the group session because that kind of blows my mind that it's like
So you must have got feedback from other people about their experience with group sessions.
yeah, but it's so wide. It's the
The
spectrum
spectrum is
is
huge. Yeah.
yeah. Like some people have actually had much stronger visceral responses. Some people it's milder. Some people feel nothing. Uh,
Mm,
so it's really hard to piece that together to make sense when somebody says what's going to happen. Like I don't know, dude.
right.
I really don't know. Like you might. Like maybe during a personal session, you have like a wall up because you know I'm looking at you and there's this insecurity, but for some reason during the group, that wall's down because
Mm,
you're just in your room alone, chilling. I'm not watching you on Zoom, you know what I mean? Like so
right.
it's so I really, I don't know. Like I don't know what to say.
So for the most part, when you are working one-on-one with someone or doing the group session, what's going on internally with you? Is it like a meditation? Do you get Do you see things? Do you get insights? Like, is it a big spectrum? I'm assuming there's a spectrum too with you,
Yeah.
where it can be many, many different things.
Every once in a while, I'll just get like this slight push to bring something up, like tell a story, or like I'll say, I just get these ideas. Maybe I should tell this story. And as
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling the story in my mind, I'm like, why am I telling her this story? But when I'm done with the story, they were able to, it made perfect sense to them in their
Mm-hmm.
life.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a weird way that I get insights. And during the session, I'm literally like, so I can feel like if my hand is like right here and I'm looking, I'm staring at you, like every little millimeter I turn my hand, the sensation changes. So
Yeah.
then, say I was looking like your third eye, and then I'm just watching you, and then I slowly work my way down, and it's like right there. I can feel a change. So then I kind of just play with that sensation, not like not like I'm conscious that I'm repairing some type of blockage. I never think like it's like, ooh, this feels okay. That
Mm-hmm.
changed. Oh, I just saw her finger move. Okay, I'm gonna stay here for a while. Oh, she swallowed. Okay. I see her swallowing when I'm right there. So I'm gonna stay there and see if I can magnify that
So
sensation.
it's noticing what you notice and then letting
It's
that kind of
being
leading and directing the
totally,
session.
it's
Yeah.
completely present with the sensation, and I'm just watching you, observing you with um no assumptions, no
Yeah.
I'm just here to feel it and observe.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like, so if you told me, oh, I'm having problems with my left knee, my consciousness would say, okay, well, I should probably go over left knee.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean that's what you need. Your
Right.
left knee might be bad because your
Yeah. For a
big
million different
toe
reasons.
has a ingrown toenail. I don't even
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So I just I try to keep my ego, not my ego, I try to keep the idea that I might know what's best for you out of it
Right.
and
Yeah.
allow, so if you told me, see, you didn't tell me you had food allergies, I, I've had so many people over the years confirm to me that it's not important that I know
You don't
what's
need to
wrong
know.
with you.
Yeah. Yes.
I think, I don't know where I heard
Progress.
this, but it was the best advice for a healer that it really, like, I was like, oh God, I get it now. And it was like, when our session is over, it's none of my business
Mm.
what happens. Like if I need you, if I want you to do to, it's not going to
Uh,
happen, dude. Like I cannot be attached to the outcome. And it's just in the moment, you do your thing, and then you just, hey, just see
let it
what
go.
happens. Yeah. So you said, do I ever like channel or like things like that? So like right now, I'm getting this overwhelming sense that you don't understand how amazingly gifted you are. Like,
Mm. It's interesting. Right before the session, I don't do this all the time, but I'm like, I'm gonna pull a card, see what,
yeah,
what I should be like this session maybe should be about, or where it's gonna kind of bring things. And so this is it. It says, I've never pulled this card before.
a
You
joke.
have a special it says you have a special spiritual relationship with the angelic world. Part of your soul purpose is to birth angelic consciousness and values such as fearlessness, compassion, and service into the human culture. This oracle also brings you angelic assistance, intervention, and confirmation too. And I'm like, sweet, I'll take that.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
that. I mean, like all of that feels really good. Like, you know, um, I think you did you word this to me? I feel like you did. Just being like you're anchoring these frequencies, right? You're anchoring um the new world, the new frequencies. And there's really nothing you have to do. You just
Nothing.
have to,
I'm not
you have
even,
to,
like, it still blows me away. It's like, I'm not doing anything that they don't turn off. So,
mm,
like, it's so easy. I don't think people understand how easy, like, we've complicated.
that idea of like effort, hard work
Yes.
needs to happen in order for something to be valuable or for something to actually work. It's not true. It's
Yeah,
not
it's not
true at
true.
all.
Not
There's
true.
this effortlessness in that is powerful, right?
It's yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful game we're playing.
It
Yeah. It
is.
just so
Well, you
happens
seem to
that
be having a lot of fun with it, so that's great.
people are wanting to leave. They want, I'm never coming back. They like, I hate it down here. Like, I don't think that that's, you have to love
Yeah.
being a human. You have to
I
love it.
think you that's one of your purposes but in addition to all of this that you do is you have a very like joyful presence. Like you like being alive. Like yes, this life is hella challenging, but you are still having fun with it, right? And you
Yeah,
have this like
if you can't
genuine
do it, you have to. I mean, it's so funny. Like, it's like, I don't know.
there's it's very easy to become over serious when people start the spiritual path, right? Like you got to do it right, and there's all this,
Yeah,
when you start kind of delving into it, it's almost like a heaviness can take like overtake you.
yeah.
So I think you break that up for people. You remind them that
Well, I
you
hope
know
so.
your video about all the different jobs you had, that was priceless.
Did
That
you
was
like that?
that was great. I love
Thank
that
you.
so much. So I'm sure so many people can relate to that too, right? Just I mean,
Yeah,
that's life. Life throws you some random shit. Like
yeah, yeah. That
you
was
gotta roll with it. You
that
gotta
was
roll with it.
yeah.
It's leading you somewhere. You'll
There,
never know.
I'm glad you liked that. That was one of my favorite videos I ever made recently. I was like,
Yeah.
I was actually laughing as I was making it. I was like, I don't know. It was fun. I enjoyed that. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that was a really great share. Really great.
So real
Well,
quick,
thank you.
so let's go back to that personal session. It was too much. What do you mean it was too much? And like, I'm curious to like why it was like I've never had
It's
it feel
almost
too
like
much.
this is interesting because my friend Sandy, who saw you, she told me about a dream she had recently, and I had a dream. It's a different dream, but it's kind of like this. This is what I think it is. I want to know what you think it is. So in her dream, she was in a spaceship, and there was like aliens with her, people she didn't recognize, and there's like just zooming so fast through the universe. And as they're zooming through the universe, she's being hit with all these frequencies. They're just pummeling her. And her nervous system is having a hard time like taking it all in and like metabolizing it. So she was like, it would be too much. So then I would go up and I would go into like the back room of the spaceship and I would just start scrolling on my phone and I would just scroll and scroll and scroll and then they would like call me back eventually and I would do it all over again and then I would have to like go back and start scrolling. Like it's almost like we are like we're being hit with completely new frequencies and our physical 3D bodies are having a little bit of a struggle sometimes assimilating it. And I had a dream like this too. There was a door in my ceiling, and I open the door and I stick my head through, and like I can't tell you what it looked like, but the feeling, like it's like the air is different and the gravity is different, and everything feels so different in this other world that I've discovered. And I can only bear it for so long, and then I have to shut the door. And
Hmm.
it's like it was almost like that same kind of like sensation where like the frequencies were so strong that it's overwhelming, I guess.
There's a part of me that thinks that the reason they feel too intense is because there's a part of us that is resisting it, and we haven't let go of. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I think
It's
one.
almost it's a fear. I could feel that too. I was like, I'm almost afraid of like letting it all in. Like why? Why
So
am I afraid?
so have you ever? I've used this twice in a video, because I think it's the greatest metaphor, like for what we're talking about. It's the
Mm,
scene in Contact when Jodie Foster. Have you seen that movie?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Well, I'll see if I can describe it. They get these diagrams to build this Stargate on Earth that's
Mm,
being transmitted from the stars. In the diagram, it teaches you how to, create the vortex and then this sphere. And they're supposed to put somebody in this sphere and drop it through this, and it was going to transport them to wherever. They don't know yet. So they're like, well, where's the person going to sit? So
yeah.
they add to the design a seat with a buckle. So she buckles in. And so as it starts going, like the chair starts shaking. It's just like it's shaking more and more and more. And then all of a sudden, her necklace slowly floats up. And she
Hmm.
watches this, like it's weightless. They don't need no chair. It doesn't need to be buckled in. And it floats up. And then she unbuckles and she's completely free. We've
Yeah.
created this chair to buckle in. The second you just release that
Open
fear,
fully.
then it isn't too intense. So when you said you closed it off, it was like too much. Like, what do you mean you close it off? You just said, okay, I'm gonna think about something, and
It
then
felt
it
like I
died
was
down.
like it felt like I was trying to like for lack of a better word kind of like close my energy body so that I was not receiving it at that intensity. And then I could hear, for some reason I could hear Zach Bush's voice going, let go, let go, let go, let go, let go. And I was like, and so I did. And I think that's why by the time I had started opening more to it, and by the time we got around to the group session, it just felt more, it
More
felt fine. It
enjoyable.
felt fine. And then I was, yeah, and I was able to feel other sensations, like kind of like this thing in my hands and my arms, kind of like I was radiating it out as well. Yeah, that's kind of how it felt.
It's getting kinda crazy up in here. Got that DJ playing music everybody wants to hear, yeah. It's getting kinda crazy up in here. Everybody wants a ride in the water slide.